What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing my pistol as I promised last week. Some of you caught a little bit of a video that should not have been released. I accidentally released a SpeedQB gameplay with my custom pistol, but that is what today's video is going to be about. We're going to talk about the pistol, and then I will roll that gameplay at the end of this video because I didn't mean to post it the way that it was. I had uploaded it for some friends to see, and I had made some mistakes in editing. So I re-edited it, and it will be out at the end of this video. So feel free to skip to the end, or if you want to see the build video or build review for this pistol, stick around. Okay, guys, so we're going to talk strictly about parts. So let's just jump right into it. Stock mag, but I am running this on I'm running it on a primary adapter for HPA. So as for parts, I'm gonna start tops. We'll start with this frame. Why not? Okay, so frame is pretty straightforward on this guy. Most obvious things are the TLR and the unstippled grip at the moment. I am planning on custom stippling this either through someone or doing it myself. I just haven't really decided on a design yet, or if I want to ship it out to get it stippled yet. The only other parts that I've swapped on the frame are the hammer, which this is a dynamic custom hammer as far as I remember, and then a 9-ball trigger. As you can see, kind of a cool trigger. It's very comfortable, really snappy, all of that. So overall, pretty satisfied with this. And then I also forgot to mention the 5KU Spy style magwell. I like this one just because it's kind of low profile, and the trigger kind of, I don't know, has that like sleek spy feel. I don't know, it looked cool, so I picked that up. Onto the slide. This is a pretty straightforward slide. Obviously we've got it all in the classic Battle Cat, which looks absolutely dope. Flip it over, you know, got them trades, pretty sick. So obviously we've got some custom bits in here. There are some stock parts in the slide because of some issues that I've ran into since I built it. And I'm not going to take apart anything because it's a pain in the butt to get the guide rod out. So what we have that is still stock is the stock nozzle and the stock hop-up and barrel setup. The reason that I went with a stock barrel setup is because frankly TM runs well enough, and I thought, well, why swap it out if it works? I'm pretty satisfied with it, so I just kept it stock for the barrel setup, and so far it's ran fine. It reaches across the field, all of that stuff. So like basically you don't need to upgrade it, but I mean eventually it'll probably get swapped out. The other thing that I mentioned was the nozzle. The reason that I have a stock nozzle in here is because I actually had an issue with the nozzle that I picked up, which was an Angel Custom red nozzle, which got stuck. The nozzle like loading bit and the actual nozzle tip itself that pushes all the gas or air down the chamber would get stuck on the hop-up rubber, and so it wouldn't really chamber. It's floated down a lot, and it seemed to have some issues with the actual gas knocker. Would seem to get stuck open or something, because it would the sound of the gas would continue after the slide kind of racked and stuff. So it was a little weird. So I swapped it back to the original nozzle and it was totally fine. So I need to get a different nozzle still. But I'm pretty satisfied with the performance of a TM nozzle. They're pretty good overall. I'm just kind of waiting for it to break to swap it out so that I can justify that purchase. As for the housing, what I have here is a dynamic custom ultra lightweight BBU. Obviously pretty straightforward drop in for this slide. It fit perfectly. That is that back end with the barrel setup. As for the outer barrel, I have one of the 9-ball non-recoiling barrels in here right now, which I've had some issues with, which I will get to in a second. But so far, I mean, it looks nice. It's very sleek, and then it's also got this fancy little, I'm gonna force it to do it. I'm gonna make you. It's also got this fancy little thread protector on the end, which I thought was kind of cool, a little bit convenient. Also, I guess another stock bit would be the guide plug. I just like it doesn't come to mind. So that's the barrel, the outer barrel. The issues that I've had with it is, if you don't know what a non-recoiling barrel setup is, the idea behind it is that it doesn't shake at all during recoil. So what it does is it has active retention on the hop-up system. So instead of having the passive retention where it's just like a little block in the way of the hop-up moving forward, it's actually screws going in on either side of the hop-up, locking it into place and forcing it to stay put. This has worked okay, except for the fact that when you're running it on 120 PSI, you run into some problems with it coming loose because, I mean, you're just dealing with a lot of recoil, a lot of snapping back and forth, and so eventually it's come loose multiple times and the barrel will end up slowly sliding all the way out as it releases itself from the hop-up system. So I am planning on swapping that out, or I'm gonna try my best to at least Loctite those little grub screws in place first, see if that fixes the issue. If not, I've thought about either drilling through and putting a pin in it and Loctiting that, which could totally work, but that would be pretty detrimental to the hop-up setup, which I don't know how worth it is when it comes down to the fact that, like, I could just buy a new barrel. All that to say, the barrel isn't the best, but I do like the little thread protector. It comes with a thread adapter, etc., etc. So it's a decent barrel setup. It's just that you really have to figure out a way for it to lock into place on the inner barrel and hop-up setup. Lastly, we have the guide rod, which obviously, if you guys are any bit familiar with high kappas, you probably already recognize a good chunk of what's going on here. We've got the cow short stroke buffers on a cow guide rod. As you can see, we've got that extra little centimeter or so of space. If it would please, for the love of Pete, focus, right? We've got that extra centimeter of space with the guide rod, or the actual short stroke buffers, and then we have a Pro Arms 140% recoil spring that has functioned really well so far. And then aside from that, that's pretty much it. As for the nozzle spring, I basically just either will use the stock one or the one that came with the Angel Custom nozzle setup. And then as for my hammer spring and all of the internal stuff in the frame, everything has either stayed stock, or I did swap out the hammer spring to the 140% hammer spring, and I've kind of varied between the two. I haven't seen a whole lot of difference in the performance. So overall though, guys, that is my build in a nutshell. As you can see, it looks pretty clean. Didn't go too hardcore on the two-tone because I'm not a huge fan of two-tone, and I wasn't sure if I would be able to swap out the slide, resell it, and pick up a new slide that would be more colorful and enjoyable to use. So I might pick up a new slide, but everything else will, continue to change as I learn more about my high kappa and like what I like. So guys, that is my custom high kappa. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I don't know why I keep on lifting it up here. I feel like you guys need to see it because this angle isn't the best right now. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay. I really had a lot of fun playing with it. You might see the barrel actually sliding out at the end of one of those clips if you pay attention closely enough. I also got to play with Joey's Polar Star and my custom build with an ARP9 upper on it. So all of that to say, yeah guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Enjoy the gameplay, and yeah, I will see you in the next one.
That boy is Benny Hanna.